today we are talking about some trade values. We got some good guys lined up for you. So why don't you kick it off for us? Tell us the who, the why, and most important, how much.
All right. So this is actually going to be a little bit of a continuum from our last pod. We talked about Rome Odunze. You brought him up, and as I believe your buy. Yep, your buy, Rome Odunze. So it's only right that in the next pod we talk about DJ Moore, the other wide receiver there. Not sorry to exclude Keenan Allen, but DJ Moore, the wide receiver one for Caleb Williams and the Bears right now. Missed past week. 5 receptions for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns for 27.5 points. DJ Moore's been looking really good. Wide receiver 22 on keep trade cut. Wide receiver 14 on the year so far, averaging 15 points per game. And Caleb Williams is looking better as the season has gone on. Those first 2 weeks, Caleb looked like a rookie quarterback, but in the weeks since, he's looked a lot better. He is, really managing that offense. And in this past game, he threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and only completed like 20 passes out of 29 attempts. So he was throwing actually over 10 yards per attempt. This is not like a little dink and dunk offense that he was running this past week. Caleb Williams is really in control of this offense. So there's good things ahead for DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen, he hasn't had quite the start of the season that, anywhere from what he had last year, where he actually had a career year last year. He's definitely older. We're definitely seeing him on the tail end of his career at this point. He's not really getting the separation that he has gotten in the past. So I think the future is definitely DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Remember, DJ Moore did get the contract extension this offseason, and he's only 27 years old. This guy has been young forever. He got into the league so early, and I feel like we're always talking about how young DJ Moore is, and he's played in the league for many years now. So only 27 years old, got the long contract extension, playing for the number 1 overall pick. Even though Rome Odunze is there, I think there's still a lot of potential moving forward, not just this year, but in the future with DJ Moore. So Mike, let's talk some trade values, how we feel about DJ Moore right now. I pulled some trade data from Dynasty Daddy, and this is what we're working with, okay? DJ Moore or Cortland Sutton in a 25 first.
Well, hey, like I always say, you're buying the quarterback, and I think right now I'm going to slightly lean DJ Moore, as much as I hate giving up the 25 first and Cortland Sutton on top of it. Cortland Sutton's really been the only consistent receiving option for Bo Nix. But Bo Nix also wins football games for throwing for like 60 yards. So just give me DJ Moore. I feel like long-term that'll probably be better.
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you, DJ Moore there in that instance. Now, also, we now know that Rashee Rice is out for the season. He will be good to go by week 1. It was not an ACL tear, just the LCL or the PCL. I can't remember which one it was. Good news there. He's going to be fully healthy, but not playing this season. So DJ Moore or Rashee Rice, Mike?
Right now I'm going DJ Moore. I'm still in it to win it, man. I mean, unless I'm rebuilding and I'm 0-5 or whatever, then I would consider Rashee Rice, but give me DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think this is an instance of which direction your team is headed. If you're rebuilding, Rashee Rice, a great guy to rebuild around, get for a little bit of a value right now. But otherwise, DJ Moore, like I said before, wide receiver 14 on the season. We are not cheaping out on DJ Moore. And then, Mike, I wanted to bring to the table, these are 2 guys, 2 wide receivers that you could find valued around DJ Moore. But let's play a little keep trade cut with this one. Okay? Keep trade cut, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, and Tank Dell.
Really doubling down on Tank Dell, aren't you, bud? I guess I would keep DJ Moore. Probably, I feel like you could trade and get more for Tank Dell right now, so I'll trade Tank Dell and then cut Jalen Waddle. I haven't also tried to trade for or trade away Jalen Waddle lately. I just feel like that's kind of like a stay away from that Miami offense right now.
It's in a void right now. All of Miami's players are in a void right now, it feels like. Yeah. So, I'm gonna probably stick on the same direction as you. I'm gonna keep DJ Moore. I'll trade away Tank Dell and cut Jalen Waddle, which is unfortunate because Jalen Waddle is very, very talented, but fantasy football wise, not looking like he's gonna do much for me anytime soon.
Yeah, and hey, sometimes in season you're going where the points are. So let's talk about Las Vegas Raiders tight end Brock Bowers. Aiden O'Connell has been named the starting quarterback of the Raiders. So I might actually be having to fire up some Aiden O'Connell this week in a few spots where I had him just kind of hanging around bottom of my roster. But he played decent when he was starting last year, so it's time for him. It looks like he has made Michael Mayer irrelevant. Michael Mayer's out for personal reasons. I don't know what it is. I haven't looked into it. Nate, do you know anything on that?
Nope.
But Brock Bowers has been kind of their shining light on offense. So let's talk about what he costs. And there are some of these on here I put on here just for you, by the way. Brock Bowers for Kyle Pitts, Pat Freiermuth, and a 25 first. Feels like a bit of
a
an
lot for Brock Bowers.
Yeah. I understand that Kyle Pitts this year so far hasn't been what we wanted him to be, or overall in his career aside from his rookie year, but that just feels like an overpay to me.
Yeah, that feels like overpay to me. I mean, Brock Bowers has been incredible right now, and you could argue he's the tight end one, based on his early season performance and his age. But I don't trust the Raiders' offense. And I know he's done well so far in the offense that they have, but I'm just thinking long-term consistency and things like that. And now Devontae Adams is leaving, so I think Brock Bowers will always, have plenty of target share in this offense. But what is his ceiling? I don't know if his ceiling is high enough where I'm moving Kyle Pitts, Pat Freiermuth, and a first-round pick for that. This needs to be like heavily tight end premium, and even in that case, I'm moving 2 tight ends. I don't like this.
Yeah, and you're moving 2 tight ends that could potentially finish as top 5 tight ends on a week. Given the week, it is always possible. We've seen Pat Freiermuth in the past. We've seen Kyle Pitts do it, and then you're adding a first on top of it. Don't like
if there was no first-round pick here, I don't mind putting together 2 tight ends for Brock Bowers. Might still be like a little bit of an overpay that just straight up value-wise, but you're getting someone is producing right now. I would be okay with Pitts and Freiermuth for Bowers, but don't throw the first on top of it.
Yeah, or like Freiermuth in the first. I would consider that one as well, but not all 3. And Nate hates 3-for-1 trades, by the way.
I do.
Brock Bowers for Brian Thomas Jr. and Kyle Pitts. This one I put on here for you. I know you are a Brian Thomas Jr. fan.
I am. It's hard not to be right now. He's playing pretty well. So I'm going to take the Brian Thomas Jr. and Kyle Pitts side. This is pretty easy for me.
Yeah, you know what? I was originally on the Brock Bowers side, but as I thought about it more, I'm going to lean on the upside. We love to build our teams around the wide receivers. Give me the ascending wide receiver asset, and you could always, Kyle Pitts has a good week. You flip him for a different tight end that you like if he's not doing what you want him to. Kyle Pitts still has that name value. People are still paying up for him, so give me that side. And last one. Hey, this was also put on here before Derek Carr was going to miss some games. Brock Bowers for Derek Carr and Brandon Ayuk.
I'm probably going to go with the Brock Bowers side here. Brandon Ayuk, I know he had a great game this past week, but he's been a little hit or miss so far this season. I think the 49ers are always going to have some target competition over there. So
for sure.
Give me Brock Bowers.
Yeah, give me Brock Bowers as well. Nate talking quarterback here. Who are you talking about, Nate?
Yeah, we got to talk about Trevor Lawrence because at the beginning of the year, everyone was down on Trevor Lawrence. Why did they pay this guy $55 million? Look at this bust. Can't believe he was a generational prospect. All right, well, he goes out last week, throws 34 passes, completes 28 of them for an 82.4% passer rating. Completion percentage, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Currently, quarterback 19 on the season, averaging 14.4 points per game. But he doesn't even have a healthy offense yet. I always get this one messed up now. Thank you to the Etienne brothers for messing this up forever. But Travis Etienne.
Oh, I can't do it.
No, this is not. Okay, I'll tell you my secret.
All right, please.
Trevor Etienne does not play with Trevor Lawrence. The 2 Trevors are not together.
Okay.
So Travis and Trevor, and then Trevor by himself.
Deal.
There you go. So Travis Etienne, he's dealt with the shoulder injury. That's why we've seen him take Bigsby in there the past couple weeks, getting some run. But as Bigsby does better, I don't think it's that Etienne is bad. I think that Bigsby is just improving. So it's not going to hurt the offense as a whole to have 2 good running backs. They also have Brian Thomas Jr., who's breaking out in front of our eyes right now. Christian Kirk, who came back with a vengeance and has been consistent. I'm going to use that word since he came back. And also, here soon, we're going to have Evan Ingram back at some point. He should be back in the next week or 2. And with that, Trevor Lawrence is going to have a fully functioning offense. He's already performing decently with what he's been working with. It looks like it's just going to get better from here. Remember, this guy is working. He started negative with Urban Meyer. Having Urban Meyer as your head coach your rookie year is not ever going to do you any good, apparently, in the NFL. Now, in college, maybe a totally different thing. But the NFL, that was a terrible experience for Trevor Etienne. See, I did it there. Trevor Lawrence. I'm mixing these guys up like crazy. But Trevor Lawrence. So he basically had his rookie year, his second year. Now, he's been in the league for a couple years now, so don't need to give him too many excuses. But I do feel like he's been undervalued. And looking at these trades, Mike, you tell me. What do you think, okay? He's under contract until 2030. He's only 25 years old. We got a lot ahead of us. And right now, here's some trade values for Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going for a 2025 first round pick straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. We don't know what that pick's going to be. We think this class is going to be really good, but a lot of these guys could get bad landing spots. We don't know. So I'm willing to make that move, especially
Also, not a lot of strong quarterbacks in this upcoming class yet.
Yeah, that the quarterback class really is going to need some time to shake down. I mean, we got Cam Ward, who I think is going to be really good. Carson Beck, he still has another year of eligibility. Drew Alar, we think he's going to be good. He also has another year of eligibility. There's a lot of question marks in this class. So yeah, give me the 25 first. Or give me Trevor Lawrence. Sorry, for the 25 first.
Same there. Okay. How about this one, Mike? I put this one on here specifically for you.
Thanks,
Justin
buddy.
Herbert or Trevor Lawrence and Terry McLaurin.
Give me Trevor Lawrence. You know, we're moving a declining asset in Terry McLaurin, even though he is still productive and he will be for a number of years. Yeah, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. But yeah,
You're getting both of them.
Yeah, then give me that declining asset that's still going to be good for a couple years. And Trevor Lawrence for Justin Herbert, who I don't think has thrown for 200 yards yet this season. Give me the Trevor Lawrence side, though.
Yeah, same. As much as I love Herbert, give me T-Law and McLaurin. Okay, last one here. What about his teammate, Brian Thomas Jr.? Thomas Jr. or Trevor Lawrence? This one's tough.
There's always good wide receivers in every class, and I hate to be like that. I feel like this is a pretty even one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Trevor Lawrence, only 2 picks on the season. He did have 2 fumbles. That one's a push for me. I could go kind of either way. That's situational, situation dependent.
I could see that as well. It's a tough one. I don't know if I can really go either way as well, because I do think that we're seeing Brian Thomas Jr. blossom into one of the, he could be one of the top wide receivers in the league. We've seen these LSU wide receivers before. They come out, they take the league by storm. I don't think that we can say that Brian Thomas doesn't have the possibility of being one of the top wide receivers in the league based on his athletic profile, his size, and things like that. If you're shooting for upside, I think Brian Thomas Jr. might even be the lean here. But, man, it's always good to have a good quarterback in Superflex, especially when he knows he's going to be around for a while.
He's a guy I don't know what to do. He wasn't supposed to start. Rhamondre Stevenson, and yet he outpaced Antonio Gibson. He had 12 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown, 4 catches for only 3 yards. But, hey, that's 4.3 points, by the way. And Antonio Gibson, 6 carries, 52 yards, no touchdowns, 1 catch for 4 yards. But until that game, he has not been what we expected. Overall, 65 carries, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 catches for 34 yards, and no touchdowns. But look, the Patriots, not very good. There is a possibility that with Drake May coming in, maybe they lean on the run a little bit more. Rhamondre Stevenson could be that guy. But this is also the last year of his deal. They could move on. Should we do the same? 4.1 yards per touch is 43rd in the NFL for running backs at his position. 4.6% breakaway run rate with his 26, but yet he has 23 evaded tackles, which is 3rd amongst running backs, and a 31.1% juke rate, which is 9th. So the efficiency is all over the board with Rhamondre Stevenson, and the Patriots offense kind of as a whole. I don't really know what to do. But let's talk about the cost. You need a running back. You got picks. Would you do it for 25 seconds?
I absolutely would, Mike. And let me tell you why. I unfortunately have to fact check you, but
fact check away.
Rhamondre Stevenson is actually under contract until 2028. He signed an offseason deal extension this offseason.
Scratch everything I said. I must have missed it. The problem is, and I will say, if you love getting a lot of information thrown at you fast, patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. There's so many Discord notifications to go through. Sometimes I do miss things. So my apologies on that. Hey, he's under contract. Patriots aren't moving on, but still, should you? So Nate would do it for 25 seconds. That's team dependent for me. Running backs, they go down like crazy. You know that. Probably would, but let's look at the team first. Here's another one. He's been kind of hot and cold. Geno Smith straight up for Rhamondre Stevenson.
Ooh, give me Geno. I'm a big Geno believer. I love what he's doing out there right now with the Seattle Seahawks. I know last year was a little bit down, but 2022 looked really good, and 2024 looks really good so far as well.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Geno Smith here. He's not losing his job to Sam Howell. But the fact is that they were starting Antonio Gibson, and even saying we're doing it, I don't know if it was just a light of fire under Rhamondre or what.
Well, he fumbled like four games in a row, so they had to do something, and this is what they did. And unfortunately, I started Antonio Gibson over Rhamondre Stevenson in one of my leagues, and it cost me my win this week. But that's what I get for listening to the coaches.
But I'm taking Geno here as well. And here's another one. Rhamondre Stevenson and Kenneth Walker III for Breece Hall, another guy we talked about a few weeks ago on this segment who's been just not what we expected. Braylon Allen looking pretty good, except for this last week when I needed him to do something in a flex spot because I had injuries and bye weeks. What do you think about that one, Nate? I want to lean Breece Hall just because of the upside, but the Jets offense has not been good.
Yeah, maybe there's something different going to happen, with Salah out. And, Kenneth Walker's looked really good the past couple of weeks too. So it's hard to move on from him. I'm going to lean the Breece Hall side at the moment. But, 3 weeks from now, I could feel it a very different way if Breece Hall can't and the Jets offense can't figure it out.
The only thing I could say is if all you have is Breece Hall for running backs and you're trying to make some sort of push and you're just going to be like, I'm going to get rid of the hero RB and go quasi zero RB, I could see this making sense.
Yep.
But give me the upside of Breece Hall because he's a guy with the ball in his hands. He could just definitely take it all the way. Kenneth Walker and Rhamondre Stevenson, not as explosive, but still pretty decent in their own right. Nate, you want to talk about your favorite position in fantasy football?
Another running back. We got a couple of running backs tonight. This next guy, RB1, maybe RB2, maybe in Dynasty, Bijan Robinson.
I'm gonna look right now.
Might be the RB1, might be the RB2. Last time I checked, he was the RB2 on keep trade cut, but he's the RB18 on the season, Mike. RB18, averaging 13.5 points per game. We've heard a lot of news, a lot of hype around Tyler Algier and all the touches he's taking away, but as good as Tyler Algier has been, averaging 5.4 yards per carry, he's only had 33 rushes for 178 yards, 6 receptions for 45 yards. He has not really been taking away that much work from Bijan Robinson. Unfortunately, just haven't really run the ball as much with Bijan as we've probably wanted, but he has gotten 67 rushes for 285 yards and a touchdown. He's averaging 4.3 yards per carry, but he only has 1 touchdown. And I think this is a lot about how we're feeling about Bijan right now. If he had like 2 or 3 more touchdowns, we'd be talking very differently about him.
I agree.
And with the running back position, touchdowns are so important. The Atlanta Falcons offense until this past weekend really struggled to find the end zone, really struggled to make big plays. Obviously, Kirk Cousins throwing for 500 yards last Thursday was a step in the right direction, but Bijan Robinson didn't have that great of a game because they were throwing the ball the whole time. So we need to see Bijan find the end zone more. But the thing that is keeping him pretty relevant, despite not having the greatest production on the ground so far, is 18 receptions for 151 yards through the air. He's being used a lot out of the backfield in passing down situations. And we always talk about we love running backs who catch the ball. So that's keeping Bijan certainly alive and relevant. And as good as he is, I think that rushing production will come on the ground as well. Mike, let me throw you some of these trade values. Is there a buy window for Bijan Robinson, who just last year would have cost you 3 first-round picks to pick up? Speaking of a guy we were just talking about, Rhamondre Stevenson in a first-round pick for Bijan Robinson. I'm doing it. Yeah.
You can only cage a beast like Bijan for so long. And by the way, Bijan Robinson, still the running back 1 on keep trade cut. I do want to just say to you that Brian Robinson is running back 13 and Brian Robinson is running back 9 on the season, whereas Bijan is running back 18 in PPR scoring. So just throwing it out there. Steady Eddie Brian Robinson doing his thing. Proceed.
He sure is. He's been looking pretty good.
I love him.
I know you do. Well, the next trade value we got here is Rhamondre Stevenson and Kenneth Walker for Bijan Robinson.
That one's a little tougher. I don't know if I want to do it, and it's not that I don't think it's a bad trade. I just don't know if I want to trade Rhamondre Stevenson away.
It seems too early.
And I'm still getting a guy with Kenneth Walker that I could plug into my starting lineup every week because the whole Zach Charbonnet thing is not doing to Kenneth Walker what we thought it would. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with the Dunze and Kenneth Walker. I just don't want to trade Rhamondre Stevenson away. That's why. If it was a different running back or wide receiver, think about it. By the way, Kenneth Walker is running back 19 in the season. He did miss a game though. However,
I'm going to lean the Walker and Odunze side as well. As much as I love Bijan, Kenneth Walker has played pretty well. As you said, RB19, but did miss a game. So probably in points per game, he's a little bit higher than that. I'm going to stick with the package side as well. And then, Mike, a straight-up swap, Bijan Robinson or Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I will gladly send Puka Nacua away. He's not getting me any points, and who knows what's going to happen with that. Also, Kenneth Walker, third in fantasy points per game with 22.4 in PPR score. So, yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. But, yeah, I'll trade away Puka Nacua. And here's the thing. I hate to do it because I like Puka, and I hope he comes back fully healthy, and I hope he smashes like he did last year. But if I could trade an injured wide receiver away for the running back one in Dynasty based on what Keep Trade Cut says, I'm going to do it.
Yep. And this is probably an instance of two teams heading this in a different direction.
For sure.
So keep that in mind as well. All right, Mike, you got another running back as well. We got one last running back for you.
We do, and then we're going to go to your Devy player to watch. I'm going to talk about Buffalo running back James Cook. I think this guy, I said it before the season, I'm going to double down right now. He could be a league winner. He's just extremely steady, very reliable. In a loss to the Texans, 20 runs, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. 2 catches, 17 yards, no touchdown. So not big in the receiving, but Josh Allen also did not look like Josh Allen in that game. I think he threw for only 130 yards, which has to be close to a career low that he's played the entire game. Now, the thing about him is yet to go over 100 yards rushing in a game, but he's been efficient combining his rushing work and his receiving work. So he's just been really steady there. He's running back 10 on the season. So he's a running back 1. What does he cost? That's the important thing. Brandon Ayuk, straight up. This one's tough.
Yeah, I'm a big James Cook fan. I talked about him a whole bunch this offseason. Now, something to take into account. He does have a toe injury right now.
Brandon Ayuk does or James Cook?
No, James Cook does. He's probable. I don't know if this is official, but he's probably going to miss this week's game with his toe injury. I don't know how much further into the season it's going to take him. But if you look at the play that he injured on, his toe kind of went not very fun. So a little bit of turf toe there. Might keep him out a couple weeks. I'm not sure yet. This is a tough one. I'm probably going to stick with James Cook because the wide receiver position is a little bit easier to backfill than the running back position. And the Bills are so run heavy right now that there's a lot of upside week in and week out with James Cook.
Slightly in on James Cook for me as well. Christian McCaffrey. Straight up, James Cook.
Give me CMC. Give me CMC.
Trades that people
Why not? I'm going for the championship. Cook's going to miss the next week or two. CMC is going to miss the next week or two. If he comes back just for my playoffs, that's all I need him for. Give me CMC.
Yeah, I agree. Here's another one. James Cook and George Pickens for A.J. Brown and Cam Akers. So you're upgrading your wide receiver. You're downgrading your running back to a backup running back that is probably not going to get much or any run once Joe Mixon comes back, but also good on Cam Akers for getting back on the field after we thought it was kind of all over for him.
I hate both sides of this trade, just so you know.
I know. That's why I'm making you do this.
I'm going to go with A.J. Brown. Don't even give me Cam Akers. It's okay. Just give me A.J. Brown.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But if you're going to throw Cam, if you're going to throw a depth piece on top of it, yeah, I want the A.J. Brown side as well, because I think there are weeks where A.J. Brown can outscore both James Cook and George Pickens. Yep. Last one, and this one I put on here specifically for you. James Cook.
Trades this week.
Yeah, you know what? I'm being spiteful about it, and I'm enjoying it. James Cook for Jonathan Brooks and a 25 third.
I have to go James Cook. I haven't seen Jonathan Brooks yet, and it's not like the Panthers' offense is really getting me that excited. So,
yeah,
give me James Cook.
Give me James Cook too, because the Panthers are another team that does not have a quarterback. They have no answers there.